All right, last one in this 16. We'll still have 17, but we'll do that later. 16.2, arc length and radian measure. We're going to work on 135 today. We're specifically going to be talking about radian measure. So let's go ahead and turn there. We're going to glue in the foldable, and then we'll get started on the notes. Okay, so 135, arc length and radian measure. Foldable looks like this. We're going to have to cut it some, so I'm kind of going to move this just a little bit. We're going to take and fold this down to the center line. Okay, and fold this up to the center line. Actually, we're probably not going to cut any of it. You'll see why. Okay. So we're going to be talking about degrees to radians and radians to degrees. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. But go ahead and take that, fold it, and then glue it so it's in half. It's glued like this. Okay, and then we're going to get started converting. Thankfully, you don't have to memorize these formulas, but you'll see that in the video. But let's go ahead and start with degrees to radians.
Let's talk about the definition of a radian. A radian is a unit of angle measure, like degrees. They're where the arc is equal to that of the radius. So first we're going to convert from degrees to radians, then radians to degrees. The formulas that we're going to write down, you do not have to memorize because they are on your formula sheet. So 1 degree is equal to pi divided by 180 radians. Remember how I talked about leaving things in terms of pi yesterday? All of these get left in terms of pi. You will have pi in the answer. So once you write that formula down, open this flap. (180 degrees). So I'm literally going to take this and multiply it by pi over 180. If you need to add a 1 underneath, that's fine. When you are multiplying, if you have the same number up top as you do below, what happens with those two? Okay, now, you're used to hearing the word they cancel, and you hear that a lot. And they do go away, but it's not that they're actually canceling. It's that they're dividing. What's 180 divided by 180? 1, which 1 times anything is itself. So, you're right. I just wanted you to realize that. So, it's not that they're canceling. It's they become 1. Okay, so that means we just have 1 times pi, which is, and we still had that divide, but pi divided by 1 is pi. Pi radians. We're done. We'll do better. Alright, number 2. Times pi over 180. We're literally simplifying this fraction. What is the... Will 60 go into 180? 3 times. That's why he's saying that. So this becomes a 1 and a 3. What is 1 times pi over 3? If you can't reduce fractions in your head, you could do 60 divided by 180. You'll get a decimal, press math, enter, enter. It'll reduce it for you. Do 3 and 4. Alright, number 2B. What is the first thing you do? -5 divided by 2. I actually need a blank first, because some of you are forgetting to put your blanks on both sides. Okay. -5 over 2 squared. Here's what I mean. Some of you are not writing this down over here, and then you have no idea what goes here and here. If you are, thank you. What is -5 divided by 2? What is -2.5 squared? 6.25. This number goes in both blanks. $6.25. Okay, now, how do I actually complete the square? Meaning not complete the square, how do I make it into a perfect binomial? X minus 2.5. There's what I mean. If you do not have this, you don't know what goes here. That is equal to, what is -1 plus 6.25? Now, I'm ready to do what I did yesterday. What am I going to do? Square root x minus 2.5 equals 2.29. What else? -2.29. Okay? What do I do last? X equals, I think, 4.79. Add 2.5. So X equals 0.21. Okay. We're going to talk about the last set now. Now tomorrow you're going to do the homework over this. You don't have homework today. And then Friday I will talk about the homework and we'll do a couple more examples just to make sure you understand, okay? Example 3. What's the difference between these and this? It's got a 0 at the end. Do we have a blank? We're going to have to make one. So, the very first step on these is to move over that extra number. X squared minus 4x plus, I'm going to leave a blank now, equals 21 plus blank. I moved over the number. I don't need it there. If you didn't get example 2B, I'll show you in a minute. Once I've moved over the number, I'm doing exactly what I did before. What am I going to put over here as my side work? Okay, -4 divided by 2 squared. What is -4 divided by 2? -2 squared. What is -2 squared? Where does that number go? In the blanks. My number is in the blanks. What do I do? The perfect binomial. So how do I write that? X minus 2 squared equals 25. Where did 25 come from? 21 plus 4. Okay, now what? Square root it. take the square root. That's better. Alright, x minus 2 equals 5. X minus 2 equals. Now what? So x equals. Add 2. X equals negative 3. Do example 3b. What do you need to do on example 3b first? Subtract 5. I'm leaving 3a up there in case you need it, but I'm going to stop in a minute to do number 3. Multiply by pi over 180. What did that reduce to? Okay, this changes to a 1. This is a 2. So pi over 2 radians. Okay, number 4 times pi over 180. What does 135 over 180 reduce to? 3/4. You need to write 3 pi over 4. If you wrote 3/4 times pi, it's the same thing. I just rather see it that way. That's what you'll normally see. Okay, that's how you convert from degrees to radians. Now we need to talk about how you go from radians to degrees. There's a practice test question that you'll see before long. We're going to take the practice test right before spring break that has you using radians. You have to convert back and forth. Alright, the formula to go from degrees to radians is 1 degree equals pi over 180 radians. Well, radians to degrees is the reciprocal. 1 radian is equal to 180 over pi degrees. You can just say rad instead, but no, there's not a symbol. Alright, let's open that and do an example with that. So, with the first one, we are going to multiply by 180 over pi. What happens with pi and pi? They divide to give you 1. Okay, then I have to reduce 180 over 18. 110, and that becomes just 10 degrees. Yeah. Pi has to be there so it will divide out. Okay, times 180 over pi. Again, the pi's will divide out to give you 1. This is where it's a little different here. I've got 5 and 180 and 4. So there's a couple things I can do. I can go ahead and reduce 180 and 4, or I can do 5 times 180 and then reduce after that. You get to choose, really. So do you want to reduce